All right. Good morning, everyone. It's Monday morning at the Mailbox Power Mastermind family, and we are so excited to have you here. You know, Brenda always loves to start out with the wins. So I would love to hear from the group on any wins that you have, no matter how big or small. You know, a lot of times when I get asked that question, it's like, oh, well, I didn't sign anybody up. But look, we're talking about any kind of win that you've had in your business or in your personal life. Neil.
Just a real quick win. I love the birthday cards. It's so funny because if you know me in person, I'm a little absent-minded. I just kind of float around in the day, right? And then people come up to me, "Oh, I love the business. I love the card I got." I'm like, "Oh, what card is that?" And it's a birthday card, dummy. And it's all on auto, plug and go. It does it on its own. That I really care. I wanted, my heart's in it. It's just that I forget. So it's a wonderful program. So
Absolutely. I
once or
had a,
twice a
oh,
month, I get someone say something to me about it.
oh yeah, I had a win. Hang on.
Please share.
Uh, so I didn't come up with this idea. This was Bob Wilcox posted on the affiliate group, and he had this T-shirt on that he made, and it's like join my birthday club with the QR code. I don't know if you can see it.
Yes.
Anyway, so I was like, oh, that's cool. So I made one and I wore it to a networking event on Friday and gave my thing about, celebrating your clients' birthdays or prospects' birthdays is a really great way to stay in touch, blah, blah, blah. And I'm on a mission to, to celebrate 1,000 birthdays by the end of the year. So scan me. so, so I had 4 people scan me.
Oh, that's funny.
I love it. Now,
Yeah.
did you get the t-shirt through Mailbox Power?
Oh
You...
yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, I love it. I
Yeah,
love
and
it.
look at this lovely color.
It's nice.
Yeah. Anyway, so
They have great quality. We've
yeah,
gotten some.
Yeah, so Bob Wilcox inspired me to do my own, and I got 4 people join my birthday club.
I'm going to do that. I have a big networking event in September in Pasadena, California. And so I'm going to create a t-shirt like that and go, scan me.
That's so when I stood up to say my thing, all of a sudden I was like, scan me, it's gone. A little, oh boy. Anyway,
That's a great strategy. That's a great strategy.
Well,
talk about
Bob.
networking.
Yeah, not me. That was Bob.
Well, Bob's the right cat to copy.
Bob,
That's all I can
Bob
say.
is the man. Bob is the man.
Yes, yes. Anybody else have any wins? No matter how big or small. I mean, you're all on the call. That's a win for me. Okay. Seriously.
Absolutely.
Anyone else? All right. We are going to get down and juicy with this. What we're going to be doing today is I'm going to give you 3 points that you've already heard about networking. I'm also going to share at the end of the time together an article with you about networking from Inc. magazine. And I love Inc. magazine only because I worked at Inc. after I got out of college. It was my first job. I was an assistant office manager. I majored in journalism and mass communication. So being at a magazine was just like, I made it.
Wow.
Even though I wasn't a writer, I wasn't an artist, I answered the phone, but it was being in that environment and really just being in that excitement. Because I have the premier issue of Inc. magazine with Bernie Goldhirsch. So definitely just an excited time. And so I love their articles. And they wrote an incredible article about how to get beyond the dreaded small talk. Isn't that what we all want to do? We all want to, I hate that chit chat stuff. And please don't ask me about the weather. Okay. Come on. So I have 3 points to share about networking. And again, you've heard them before, but sometimes when we hear something that we've heard before, when we hear it a different way, we glean something about it. And then we're going to do a little role playing. Okay, so why do we network? Well, the first thing we want to do is we want to build genuine relationships. You know, networking is fundamentally about establishing a meaningful connection. And when you prioritize the other person, that means you don't go around trying to give everybody your business card and tell everybody what you do and blah, blah, blah. When you actually make somebody else the priority, there's a different kind of energy. There's a different kind of energy exchange. You know, people are more likely to remember and appreciate interactions when they felt valued and when they felt heard, which can lead to future opportunities and collaborations. You want to enhance your visibility. And when you show interest in others, you naturally become more visible to them. The visibility can lead to referrals and recommendations, as individuals are more inclined to support someone who has taken the time to engage with them meaningfully. In contrast, self-centered approaches come off as insincere and may hinder your networking efforts. And last but not least, we want to develop a growth mindset. You know, when we engage with others in a way that emphasizes their experiences and insights, it encourages a growth mindset. Look, I want to get around everybody who knows how to do something better than me, because I know that within every conversation, there's an education. And it's that exchange of energy and conversation that really lights me up. I mean, I really get excited. The mindset, a growth mindset, is crucial in networking as it allows you to adapt a growth-based interaction with people, focusing on them. And that's what I absolutely love. And so right now we're going to move into our little role play thing. And if you've ever been to a Toastmasters meeting, you're familiar with table topics. You know, I ask a question, call on you randomly, and you've got 1 to 2 minutes to answer it. And so what I'm going to share are a few questions, and you don't have to write them down because I'm going to give you the article and it's going to have all of the questions there. But the title of the article is 5 questions the most interesting people will always ask in conversations. And the whole point is to get beyond the dreaded small talk. So one of my first questions is, what makes you smile when you get up in the morning? So I would like Miss Andrea. Andrea, what makes you smile when you get up in the morning? You got to get off of mute, baby.
Don't you know yet, Kimberly, that once you get me off mute, you'll never get me back on it again, and everybody's going to go away. So and that's what B&I did for me 25 years ago. I would not talk to this group of people 25 years ago. But anyway, what makes me smile when I wake up in the morning is the fact that I'm waking up.
Yes, gratitude.
You know, it's my husband used to say, as long as I wake up looking down at the grass and not up at it, it's going to be a great day. Thank you for allowing me to share from my heart.
Thank you for sharing. And it's always better to be seen and not viewed, right?
Oh my gosh.
Just saying. I want to ask this next question. What absolutely excites you right now? Suzanne. Got to come off mute, Suzanne. Suzanne. Alan, come off of mute.
I think I just came off a mute.
You did.
What really excites me now is the knowledge that I have a core group of people here that are passionate about Mailbox Power, that are willing to help me, and that I can turn around and help as I continue to grow. I love the fact that I have the same kind of group with the legal technology arena that I played in for 40 years and can let that go and transition clients to that group of friends / colleagues to take better care than I could take of my still existing clients. if you will. And heck, I'm 68. I've got plenty of good time left, and that excites me too.
You got a lot of years, Alan. Let me tell you.
I think you're right.
Absolutely. And thank you for sharing. And you know, this whole idea when I read this article, I said, oh, we could do some role play, we can answer questions, was to get this, just for us to get to know each other better. I mean, I know we get on here and we talk about our businesses and strengths and weaknesses and wins and whatever, but the bottom line is just to grow our own relationship with each other, and just this little bit of sharing is phenomenal for me.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Well,
here's my next question, and I'm already going to tell Mr. Josh, I'm calling on you, brother. I'm calling on you.
Kimberly, let me just interrupt before you do that. I'm sorry for the interruption, but you instilled in me that feeling by giving me the card gift. So that has inspired me to turn around, and when the time's right and Brenda helps me with that card, I'll say to her, who's next, who gets a card, and that's my gift.
The gift that keeps on giving.
I keep
I
on
would
giving, and
say-
then I'm going to add to that, and I'm going to up the ante, and I'm going to say there's a book that I mentioned last week that I'm going to buy my own copy of, but I'm going to buy a copy for the group. And the group can
Wow.
pass it around.
Wow. Talk
We
about
might even
compassion.
send the gift the old-fashioned way.
Yes.
Or get Mailbox Power to stock that book. Either way.
I
Sorry,
love it. I
interrupted.
love it.
Back to you.
Thank you so much, Alan. And it was such a joy to be able to surprise you with that gift.
Oh, thank you for that.
Lulu, did you have something?
I was just gonna kind of piggyback on that, like getting up in the morning and realizing that I have a really good life. And what excites me every day when I wake up is that I have the ability to reach out and help others, whether that's supporting them in whatever their journey is, volunteering, giving money. Just, you know, there's so many ways that I am able to give back. And that just lights me up every day.
I hear you. I hear you. And I think in this community, within each other, it's really wonderful that we actually can reach out to one another and go, hey, I got this problem. Can you help me? Have you ever run into it before or whatever? And that's the power of the mastermind. It's when people come in with the unity and the harmony and the synergy that happens within us all is like none other that could help it happen to us individually. And that is such a strength. So here's my question. What's the most important thing I should know about you, Mr. Josh Fields?
I've lived in the same place longer than I've lived anywhere else right now.
Wow. And how has that helped you grow?
Well, it's helped me grow because and I don't know, I'm somewhat familiar with everybody on this particular call, but I'm working in the travel industry
Wow.
for about the last 10 years anyway. But I've lived in the same place in central Tokyo for 11 years. And having lived here was what got me to be able to work in the inbound tourism industry. But that has just prompted me to do so many different things. I've developed my own tour that I sell through the company that I collaborate with here. And it's just kind of given me an opportunity to do something that's fun and different every day.
I think that's fascinating that you live in a totally different culture and you've been able to glean and pick up so many of the gems in a culture that most of us never get to even experience, probably because we don't know if we could get on the plane and go that long on the plane, that long. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I never knew, Josh, that you were in Japan. That's fascinating.
Yeah, I've been here, 19 and a half years this time.
And
But
are you seeing a comeback now after COVID with the whole travel thing and people being
come back now. Come back now. It's like the hiatus never existed.
I love
We
it.
had 17 million visitors last month. It's been setting records constantly for the last 2 years. So
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
It's the #1 destination in the world right now.
The #1 destination. See, you learn
Really?
something new every day because I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, when you are in a networking event and you ask that question, the whole idea is that you are going to take your listening skill to the next level, listen to what the person is sharing with you, and then ask a follow-up question. Like, I never knew all this time, even with the background, I'm like, what city is that?
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing
Yeah.
there that tells me Josh is living in Japan. And now
Well,
that I
but
know,
yeah, you don't know that this is my home, but yeah, I mean, that's the sky tree, but yeah.
that's amazing. That
Hmm.
is
And I
really
took this photo
amazing.
too, by the way.
I
Great
love it.
picture. Yeah.
So how many of you knew that Josh lived in Japan? Okay. All right. Well, some of you. Well, now we can all raise our hand. And again, you learn something new every day. I love that. So in the chat, will I post the questions in the chat? I'll post the article in the chat where you can get the questions, but I also will post the article after the recording gets posted so that everybody who's getting the replay, you will get the questions.
Can
But the
I
whole
share
idea,
something else real quick? Sorry.
yes.
If I can just while you're transitioning to the next thing, I didn't think of it until I'm multitasking here. I don't get to be on the call very often because it's at midnight for me or
Wow,
1 a.m.
wow.
Right.
Talk about commitment.
When you guys change the clocks, it's at 1 a.m. for me. But I was looking at my affiliate back end and I noticed that I had a person who I've gotten to know through other channels. And she was signed up as on Mailbox Power for a while, and then she didn't really get it, or some other things happened, and so she was off for quite some time. And about 3 months ago, and I said about 3 months ago because I just looked, she got on the 90-day thing. I was able to get her on the 90-day thing for to come back on. But she just messaged me. She said, "Hey, are you still doing Mailbox Power?" Da, da, da. I said, "Yeah, sure am." Well, she completely changed channels and completely different line of business. And she's like, "Well, I really want to start using it because I've got this, and this, and I want to send this to my clients." So she's back on it. She's just coming to the end of her 90 days and she'll be renewing to go on regular
Nice.
from here up. Yeah, but that was just so everybody talks about keep coming back, keep touching, keep going, and the people will come back.
Absolutely. It's because you never know, especially if you have somebody on an automation, you never know when your card is going to hit them at a certain time, at the certain day, and they're like, the light bulb goes off and go, wow, and then they reach out to you. They reach out to you. That's phenomenal. What a great story. And this all happened automatically, like you just noticed that she came back and signed up for the 90-day. You're on mute, Josh.
She 90 days ago, she didn't. No, she reached out to me. She messaged me and said, "Are you still? Can you help me get back on?" I said,
Nice.
"Well, yeah, your account's still there. It's just inactive." But normally, someone can't just go and sign up for the 90-day if they're already on. But
That's right.
I used the famous blue chat bubble and said, "Hey, I want to get this person on," and they said, "Yeah, we'll do it." Just so they put her on for the 90-day deal, and then she's going to keep. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
That is nice. And we always love reinstatements. Alan, did you have something you wanted to say? Okay, it was just your hand. All right. Next question. What's your story? Suzanne, what's your story?
How long do we have? No.
That's a question.
Yeah. And I must apologize. I was on my phone when you tried to get me
No
before. And I
worries.
couldn't get it off mute. I'm thinking, what is wrong here?
No
Anyway,
worries.
that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Okay. Well, my story is I was born in not a small town, but I was born in Ohio, raised in Ohio. Always wanted to be part of the space program. And
Wow.
when I was, what was I? Actually, I think it was the moon landing, I actually wrote to Houston and said I'd like to be an astronaut. But then I got the application and you had to have a PhD and be able to fly a jet. And I couldn't do either. I hadn't done either one of those. So I thought, well, I'll just forget about that. Anyway, but what was interesting is my mother's very best friend lived in a small town here close to the Space Center. And she moved here and she said, why don't you come to Florida? So I moved to Florida, not knowing that the Space Center was right there. And anyway, so I met someone who just happened to be the director of HR for Rockwell. Went and I told him I wanted to work there, and he said, fill out an application. And the next thing I knew, I was 29 years at the Space Center during the entire shuttle program. It was absolutely fascinating. Anyway, and I live about 10 miles from the Space Center now. But the other thing is that my whole family's musical. My mother and father were both musicians, and even my grandmothers were musicians. And so I've always sung and, done that kind of stuff. So after, I guess it was about 20 years ago, a friend of mine said, I want to start singing and let's start doing this. And so I have been singing and doing all kinds of things. I made a CD, but I'm using Mailbox Power. Actually, I started using Mailbox Power. I told you, how long do you have? You want me to start? Just go like this if you want me to stop. Okay.
Yeah, you got about 30 seconds.
Okay. I started using Mailbox Power when the pandemic hit because I wanted to get a hold of, I signed up with Mailbox Power in February and the pandemic hit in March. I mean, that's how it was so very serendipitous. But anyway, and I started just reaching out to all my friends, all my schoolmates, and I love it. And I'm getting so many good responses. I'm not really using it for business that much because I use it more just to keep in touch with people. And I use it like through my church. I use it there and just different places like that. So, and I love getting on these calls because I love everybody's enthusiasm and excitement. And yeah, I know, Kimberly, you are #1 enthusiastic. So anyway, but that's my story and I'm sticking to it, I guess. Yeah. So
Thank you so much. Let me ask you this. How old were you when you first said you wanted to become an astronaut or you wanted to go into space?
I don't know, 16, 17, something like that. Mhm.
Okay.
Wow.
Here you are, right? The Space Center is like right down the street.
Right. And I posted a thing on Facebook the other day that said, never give up on your dream. And I was like, I said, I was 16 or 17 and it was 20 years later when I actually went to work for the Space Center. So, yeah, so
Words are containers of power, I'll tell you.
I know, they really are. Yeah.
We just want to make sure that we're speaking good words over ourselves and we're not
Right.
having our lips flap and, we're cursing each other, what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Ourselves.
Yeah.
Neil,
So if anybody's in Florida and wants to watch the shuttle, I mean the launches or whatever, I watch them out of my backyard. So
Wow.
come on down.
Wow.
that is a note you want to take, especially if you're watching the replay. I'm telling you, exciting things happen on this Mailbox Power Mastermind call. Neil?
Right.
Yeah, I was in Daytona, not one of the, probably 6 months ago when one of the flights took off.
Mhm.
And that was really interesting to see. So
Mhm.
big old flying across the sky. I
Right.
just wanted to give you a 20, 30,000 foot view of what you were talking about. And first you said there was a very interesting person, what they would do. But through your actions and everything, you were more interested than interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying you weren't interesting. I was saying that was your goal. In other words, you were interested in what Suze had to say and what Josh had to say. And that's a good example of how we should be with our clients and with our other people we come in contact with every day. So
Thank you so much,
Absolutely.
Neil. I mean, we've all heard this before. Babies cry for it, men die for it. What
Yep.
is it? Recognition. They want to be acknowledged. They want to be recognized. They want to feel valued, heard, important. And especially being part of this company that in direct mail marketing, we want to touch somebody's heart. Yeah, we want to send them a card but the bottom line is we want to interrupt whatever's going on in their lives and let them know they are valued, heard, recognized, they're important. And that's one of the #1 reasons why I use this as a tool in my business. I want all my members, because I'm on subscription-based business models, and I want people to keep their subscriptions. And a lot of times, you know, you don't really, it's just like anybody selling life insurance. Look, if you're selling life insurance, you need Mailbox Power, okay? Because nobody wants to use what you're selling. We all need it. None of us want to use it. And you need to make sure we're getting touched so that we can actually refer you.
Those subscriptions.
Okay, it is 8:27. I got 3 more minutes. Carla, are you down for this? Are you ready? Miss Carla?
I'll try.
All right. Okay, this is going to be real simple. What makes you smile when you get up in the morning?
Oh, you asked that one already. I'm with the first one, just to wake up and be here. And like today, I'm out at my daughter's house spending time with my grandbaby. It's just life in general. I love people. I love doing things with people. People make me smile. People.
Nice.
Especially
Yeah.
grandbabies, I bet. I can't tell you.
Yeah.
About
And I
you
have
got
both
that
of them
grandma
here with
glow
me.
on you.
Yeah, that's why I'm calling camera. I got 2 big plaits on my head.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay, what is the
Yeah.
book that has influenced you the most? Deb Walker, are you there? This Deb.
I don't see any.
Guys, caught me off guard here. Most influenced. Well, of course, the Bible is #1, living life as a Christian. It's really funny. Way back years ago, I read the what is it, geisha? Something about the geisha. I can't think of the title right now.
Oh,
And it was
yeah.
it kind of opened my eyes to a different world, different life. Something with a geisha. What is that? I'll have to find it now. It was
Total
just
different culture.
a whole different culture. Women in a different country, different cultures. And it was beautiful. I just remember it was beautiful. Morning with a Geisha? I don't know.
Nice, nice. Thank you
It's a
for
very
sharing
popular,
that.
well-known book.
Thank you for sharing that. Josh has said that he connects with people the most through his birthday, through the birthday club. The best way I
Yes.
found to connect and get people on my birthday club. And that's one of the reasons, that's one of the ways. And I'll tell you, the strategies we have, the different types of links we have, the different types of ways we have to reach out to people just to get them in the mix is phenomenal. And I love that t-shirt. I love Bob Wilcox for posting that. That is amazing, Lulu. I'm going to get me one when I go to that big networking event and just be like, scan me.
Scan me. I mean, yeah, because you got to have fun. I used to be very serious, and I
Yes.
decided I am a serious person. Like if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And, you know, in those ways I'm serious, but I'm actually not serious. I just say I want to sprinkle my fairy dust around in the world. And what better way to sprinkle some fairy dust than to celebrate somebody's birthday?
Exactly. Exactly. I just put the link into the article again, and I hope that you all will. I think the most important thing about this article and the questions is that you don't use it as a script. You don't use the 5 questions as a script, but, you know, meet somebody and organically see when they're sharing about themselves, how you could use one of the questions to even go and on a deeper dive. Because that's what we want to do. We want to create a genuine connection with someone. And because here's the thing, and it's not about the person you're talking to in a network event, it's about who they know. Everyone says it's all about who you know. No, it's about who knows you. And you really make that impression when you are focusing on that individual, that they walk away going, wow, that was phenomenal, because you made them the star. Because
Yep.
in the end, They are. And you never know who you'll meet who will introduce you to somebody that will totally explode your business. Neil?
Yep.
Just one thing that I've found in life, if you come into a networking situation where you're meeting people and there's like a wall built up, if you're vulnerable about yourself to them, they will feel comfortable, more comfortable usually with sharing themselves with you.
Absolutely. You're just bringing yourself to the plate, your authentic self. And it's not about, trying to pass out as many business cards in the room as you possibly can. I mean, that is so tired and that's so worn out. It's like the whole idea of meeting people in this day and age, you got to unlearn all that stuff. And
Yep.
you've got to evolve by becoming somebody who's more focused on being interested in others than having people be interested in you.
Yeah.
And with that, it is 8:32. We are going to be signing off. Thank you all for playing Full Out. I really appreciate it. And I got to know something a little about everybody. And that was the purpose of my call. Josh, you're amazing. I really appreciate your commitment. Now, when I see you, commitment next level, because no alarm clock would get me up at night.
Nora,
Sorry. Have a great
Wait.
week, everyone. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank
See ya.
you.
You rock.